just got back from seeing Battleship. And before you ask, I can see all of you just going, okay, the hat. So, had a rough couple of days-ish, but you just kind of busy days, and I didn't really have time to get cleaned up and look real great for the review, which I don't need to look great, I just need to look passable, and I wasn't happy with my hair, and I was like, I can either look really kind of blah on camera, or I can look ridiculous, because I need a hat, but I couldn't find the baseball hat that, you know, like, I have a baseball hat somewhere. So I was like, well, there's this other hat, and I didn't have time to look for anything, so it was sort of a rush thing, so I was like, well, I have this other hat that I once used for cosplay. I'm gonna look really stupid. I'll give him something to laugh at, I guess. So that's why I'm wearing this hat, so that my hair doesn't look atrocious. But, yeah. We're just gonna move right past that. So we're gonna talk about Battleship. I think everybody knows this is a bad movie, but, it is actually, I was like, well, maybe there won't be anything to talk about, and there is quite a bit to talk about here, weirdly enough. Oh, quite a bit. Battleship is a different kind of bad movie. It was, so, here was my mood going into it, by the way, just to give you an idea of how angry I could have been at this movie, and yet I wasn't. Yeah, here's a little preview. I'm not actually mad at this movie. You'd think, but... I'm just kind of sad for it. So, when the movie started up, and they started playing all the trailers, they played all the trailers to all the shit that I wasn't particularly interested in, and here's the thing, one of the reasons I love going to the movies is I love seeing things on the big screen. Some people are like, well, by some people I mean like one person specifically, I think, who thinks like this. And if you're gonna make noise, you might as well just not hide from the camera. There you go. Boink. Who say, like, I don't really like to go to the movies because it costs so much and they bombard you with ads and stuff like that. Like, I don't care. I kind of like seeing that sort of thing on the big screen. I like seeing trailers on the big screen. So a lot of trailers went by that I didn't really care about, and our theater is really shitty. I can say this because I used to work there. So, you know, like, I quit because I'm moving pretty soon, but I worked there, and it is really shitty, just the way it's run. And this thing happens, like, almost every movie I've gone to where one of the trailers randomly picked, and only one, because after that they like make sure, I guess, it doesn't happen, or it's, I don't know why this happens. It gets shown in this negative thing where it's like bright pink with yellow accents. It really hurts your eyes. Everything that should be black or slightly dark is completely pink. And the highlights that are the lowlights I get, now yeah, the things that are not supposed to be, that would be a lighter color, are sort of yellow. And it's impossible to distinguish anything, but it's just a big morass of blah. And they never fix it, they let the whole trailer play through, and I don't know why it does that every time, but it does that. Somebody doesn't give a shit. So out of all the trailers that I didn't care about, the one that played that I did care about, the Prometheus trailer, I actually hadn't seen it yet. I'd seen the teasers. I hadn't seen this longer version, and I could look it up online if I wanted to, but there's something about seeing it on the big screen. Comes up and it's bright pink, and it's like Ridley Scott, and I can see the writing just because it's black and white, which means it's pink and yellow, I could see, and I went, like, those motherfuckers, I wanted to see this trailer, and you fucked that one up, do you? Like, there shouldn't be any fucked up trailers, but fine, it's such a poorly run theater. So there was that. And then second of all, like, as the movie's starting, there's this guy behind me and to my left, and he sort of loudly belches. And this is after the movie has already started, and I'm kind of trying to pay attention. I'm doing my best to give this movie a fair shake, even though I went in thinking, oh, it's going to be bad. This guy behind me and to the left loudly belches like a cartoony belch. It didn't even sound human. It sounded like something that would be dubbed into a cartoon. And I kind of thought for half a second, like, do I want to look behind me and see, like, what fat fuck just did that? Do I want to know? And I'm not trying to say, like, oh, he was fat, he belched, or whatever. Like, I could just tell, because he had his feet, like, shoved up against the seat that was, like I said, it was slightly to my left, because I could tell, like, the seat right next to me was like, I could just tell this was a big, gross, inconsiderate person, And so I was like, okay, well, maybe I'm just going to look, just kind of glare at him. So I was really fortunate he was not looking at me when I looked back there, because I looked back there and it's like, oh god, it's like a sex offender. I mean, not, I can't tell, he probably is not, but he was a very, I don't like to judge people based on looks, I really don't, but there's some people you look at and you're like, this person is not safe, And so, before you immediately, harsh on me for judging based on appearances and stuff like that, here's what happened. He didn't see me looking at him, just glaring at him. I was like, well, I'm going to look the other way because I don't want to be caught glaring at this guy. Like, he's not good news. But at some point, he had to walk off to, like, use the bathroom or something. So he gets up, and he walks down a little bit, and he stops, and he stares at me during this movie for a full 3 minutes. Like, I started mentally counting it, and he's, like, staring at me in a gross, gross, gross way. It was really, like, he left right before I was thinking, you know, maybe I should, like, try to find somebody and get this guy kicked out. Like, I don't even know if I could necessarily, like, get this guy kicked out for just sort of staring at me, but I mean, it was really uncomfortable. I was like, oh, man. And usually I don't care. Like, this is the kind of town, I can say this because I'm moving, this is the kind of town where if you walk everywhere, I'm one of those people who walks everywhere, you will get people honking at you a lot and shouting certain things out the window. And, like, I don't mean, like, every once in a while. I mean, 2/3 of the time that I walk anywhere. If there's traffic, people in pickup trucks will roll down their windows and yell obscene things at you and honk. And, it's just one of those towns, you know? And so, like, that doesn't bother me. I got used to that, but this actually bothered me. So I was not in a good mood. I'll just say, how long did that take to explain? 5 minutes. That's okay, because the actual review of the movie is going to be much shorter. Maybe you should wear this hat everywhere, then nobody would ever, like, just not bathe and, like, wear shabby clothes and wear this hat everywhere. That would solve my problems. Okay. It's not really that much of a problem, but it is when you feel like your life is a little bit in jeopardy, which is how I felt with this guy kind of ogling me. Anyway, we're moving on from that. I obviously was not in a good mood going into this movie, and yet I couldn't be mad at this movie. Here's the thing. There are some bad movies, like I mentioned The Lorax and Dark Shadows, where you feel like the people that made the movie don't care and they hate you. And you know, that's part of, like, these Dark Shadows, like, and they had potential. Like, The Lorax, I quite liked the book. I thought that there was a lot of, and the cartoon, I really liked the cartoon. Because I am sort of a fan of Dr. Seuss, actually. Was very familiar with it going into the movie, and so, yeah, it hurt. There was potential there, and it's so just shits all over it. And Dark Shadows, like, I didn't know anything about the soap opera, but I kind of got the gist of what the tone was of the soap opera or whatever, and this is just Tim Burton going, I'm going to be Tim Burton-y in a way that's, like, not at all inspired. I watched the vlog, I've talked about this, but it makes you angry because he obviously didn't give a shit. I mean, he obviously did not care, and he thinks people are dumb and will buy anything. I think he's very jaded. And so there's that. And this is, like, people are trying and really just failing. So it's a bad movie. Don't go see it. But I kind of felt sorry for it, because this is clearly made by somebody who's trying to emulate Michael Bay. I think a lot of people have said, like, Michael Bay has changed the way movies are made because people are, like, imitating him, hardcore, trying to be like him, trying to be successful like him. And that's exactly what this is somebody really liked Michael Bay movies, and they wanted to make the kind of same successful thing because they were inspired by it. Not because they thought it would make them money. That was probably Hasbro's deal, like, make us money. But the director of this, and the writers, and even kind of the actors who are not talented people in this. Yeah, Liam Neeson is in this, but very, very briefly. Like, he sort of talks, and then he, like, salutes, and then he, you know, walks off, and then he comes back later. Sorry, one of my roomies just walked in. I'm doing a vlog. Just ignore me. It's okay. Back on track. Hasbro wanted this to make money. The studio wanted this to make money. Universal, whatever. Whoever made this, like, was kind of inspired by it. Like, he was genuinely trying to make something he thought was cool and just failing really badly. And here's why. Have you heard the saying that, like, one person dying is a casualty and 100,000 people dying is a statistic? Usually it refers to, like, if you're talking about writing, if you're talking about exploiting, manipulation, they mean that you want a casualty. You want a somebody that the audience cares about to die or whatever, and not like hundreds of thousands of people. But there's a flip side to that too. If you're making a dumb movie about explosions and, like, seeing the world destroyed, you have to kind of destroy the world. That's why people see the Roland Emmerich movies, and even if they think they're bad, like, there's a subset of people that really enjoy this. I'm kind of not in that, because just a personal experience, I had a falling out with the whole destruction for destruction's sake kind of movie. Like, it just doesn't do anything for me anymore. It really used to. I think I burned out so much on those in middle school that I can't, I can't anymore. But I understand it, and I can still enjoy it a little bit. Not as much as I used to, but a little bit. This movie, if you're gonna do that, do a statistic. you have to 2012 shit. You have to completely destroy things in a way that even Transformers, like, you know, Chicago gets ripped up or whatever in the third one, and which those movies aren't good, but they get the gist. Battleship is a casualty. It is like there's a small subset of the ocean. Well, what happens is the aliens, if you're wondering why they don't just send in everything we've got and blow them all to hell, the aliens land and they put up a force field over the small part of the ocean. So you have your Battleship board game. You have whatever ships are locked into this force field have to fight it, and everybody else is kept out. It doesn't work real well because they don't even try. Like, there's the president and this council of mysterious people from, you know, like whatever, and NASA, and they're talking about it, but they don't even try. Like, they briefly go to them to make sure that the whole world knows that this exists, but, like, there's no attempt to actually get through the force field. It's just sort of abandoned, like, okay, no, we're just going to focus on these people here. And that's the mistake, because we don't care about these people. If you thought Sam Witwicky was, like, because this is obviously trying to ape Transformers, so we're going to go ahead and make a direct comparison. If you thought Sam Witwicky was awful, and I'm sure he is, as I've only seen the first Transformers movie. I never watched the second or third. I didn't need to. Like, I knew they were going to be awful. Maybe someday to, like, pound in the pain or something for no reason I might do that, but I have no reason to. I thought the first one was really bad. Like, after the first one, and I didn't have the taste, when I first saw it, I didn't have, like, the standards that I have now, and I thought it was bad, so I don't know. I mean, like, my critical faculties weren't even as strong then, and I still thought something was fishy. And, moving on, like, Sam Witwicky is despicable, and I think everybody kind of knows this, and they wish that he wasn't in the movies and just fuck off. He ain't got nothing on the protagonist of this movie. This movie's hero, which, oh shit, Taylor Kitsch? Not Taylor, it's something Kitsch. I know this actor, because I've seen him in a couple other things, but, like, it just flashed by me so, like, I remember Liam Neeson is in this, Rihanna is in this, and, like, Taylor Kitsch? What's his name? I've seen him occasionally. His character is so awful in this, like, he has no redeeming qualities. At the end, he saves the day because he figures out the strategy that will blow up the alien, you know, he uses the battleship to attack the aliens, and he succeeds, and that's good. I guess he saves the day, but as a person, he does nothing. Like, every step of the way, there is not a single redeeming quality to him. At all. And that's, woo! So, my point is, getting back to the casualty statistic thing, I don't want to take too long on this, but this movie is a casualty. Like, the whole thing takes place on this small part of the ocean that we don't really care about. Like, there's a little bit on the island of Oahu in Hawaii, but we don't really care about, and we don't care about the people, so it's not a specific person kind of story. But we don't get to see destruction on a grand scale. It's just sort of the boats on the ocean blowing up, and there's a moment where these things are very Transformers-y, these rolling balls that are pieces of metal with little glowing spheres of magma or something like that inside, cores of energy, plow into the city and, like, attack a Little League game, I guess, and blow through half a freeway. Like, there's a freeway and they blow through the bridge and cut off the asphalt or whatever. And I guess, like, we don't see anybody die, but somebody would have had to. Like, there's no way people didn't, like, you know, weren't killed by that at some point. Like, some car was totally decimated by that. And it's a casualty. And it's just like we kind of feel sick for, you know, watching these random mothers and children at this Little League game or whatever getting blown up. Like, you know, we didn't actually see it, but we know it happened, and it's not entertaining. It's just sort of little. So this movie is little. It's a casualty, and if you're going to make a big, stupid, blown movie, it has to be entertaining. And here's why I'm not mad at this movie. Like, I think it was trying to have an emotional connection with the audience, and it failed. Like, it didn't succeed as a big, explosive movie either because it's so small. Like, and the CG isn't impressive, and we don't care about the aliens or what they look like. They're just really, it sort of looks, there are moments where it looks like a video game cutscene until an actor walks in and you go, oh, real people. And it's just, it is a casualty when it should be a statistic, and that's actually not good in this case because we don't care about the people. There aren't really any characters in this. As far as the acting goes, like, it's bad, but it's not, with one exception, it's not